AEW and WWE wrestling wrap up. Very special in the fact that I've literally just finished Raw and I've watched all of two matches, possibly two and a half matches so far of AEW. I haven't finished watching the whole thing. It's been a bit of a day and a bit of a week. I'll be completely honest. I will get to that in a minute because there might have to be some things. There might have to be some things that start changing for your boy, but I'll get onto that in a minute. Just to say for podcast listeners, obviously this will be on YouTube podcast and YouTube video as per usual. I'll tell you a bit about what I'm doing at the weekend as well. Obviously, most of you know that I'm a Liverpool fan, and I'm actually going to Anfield this weekend. Yay! It's going to be stress-free Liverpool for a change after this garbage that we've been served up over the last year. But yeah, off to Liverpool tomorrow night. Staying for the weekend, stopping in Manchester tomorrow, going to see the game, going out in Manchester, going out in Liverpool, getting drunk, basically. So yeah, it's going to be a good one, so I'll tell you all about that in a minute, and a couple of other things that I've got going on. Like I said, I'm still watching AEW in the background, so I'm unable to give you a review at this precise minute. I don't know why Christopher Daniels is out there. It's a bit weird. Yeah, Chris Daniels is in a new team, apparently. That's a new one. Yes, so basically, Monday Night Raw, like I said, guys, really sorry. I'm just getting up my notes. If my PC is going to work. Is it going to work? Yes, hopefully. Yeah, really sorry it's late. Like I said, it's been a hell of a week this week, unfortunately. So, obviously, if you all missed this, it will be available to watch tomorrow morning. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, in terms of Monday Night Raw, so we'll start off with that, seeing as I'm still actually watching AEW. It was, do you know what, I thought it was a very good show. Really, really enjoyed it. Quick swig of water. There we go. Yeah, it's been I've already done it, haven't I? It's been an interesting week. It's been Monday Night Raw. Anyway, basically, obviously it was on Monday, like 3 days ago, and I've only just got around to watching it now. I thought it was really good. I love the segment at the end with Roman and CM Punk. It was pretty awesome. I like the fact that they put Punk in a bit of jeopardy, and basically Punk was. I loved the way he was just laughing at the end. I actually have a theory about that I will run past you guys. Well, in fact, I'll run it. I'll run it back now, as Jay Uso says. Um, this might be a bit weird. Hey Finn, how you doing, mate? You all right? Hello, son. This might be a bit weird, but it's something I've been thinking about for a while. And there's something a bit off to me about the Usos' involvement with Roman and Punk. And I'm starting to wonder, and I go very conspiracy theory with wrestling, so I'm probably completely wrong about this, but I am starting to wonder whether the Usos basically turn heel at WrestleMania and they turn heel with CM Punk and basically they screw over Roman Reigns. I know it sounds very outlandish. I'm probably a million miles off, but like, I don't know. There's just something about the whole situation where I'm just like, it seems a bit generic just to reform the bloodline because then obviously Punk will just lose because he'll have like three people on one. Or maybe something else is going to happen. I've been thinking all sorts, like maybe The Rock comes back. Maybe he helps Punk or something along them lines. I don't know, but there we go. Finn, not going to stay for long because I'm a little tired. Oh, that's all right, Finn, mate. Don't worry. To be honest, Finn, I'm probably not going to be on too long, mate, because I is going to Liverpool tomorrow, and I also have to go to work before I even get to Manchester, before I even get to Liverpool. So I probably won't be on for long myself, pal, to be honest. But thanks for tuning in for however little time you can do. I might not comment much, but I'm going to listen to your stream while I'm asleep. Thanks, Finn. No, I know what you mean, brother. I know what you mean. That's fine, mate. That's fine. Like I said, Finn, if you're tired, mate, get yourself to bed. Don't be like Big Uncle Leon. Oh, Wales World Cup dream over after agonising penalty shooter. Ah, Wales have just. For those of you who are interested, Wales have just gone out of the World Cup. Sorry if any of you are Welsh who happen to be watching. Yes, that's a bit rubbish. Did you know that Wales are actually playing Ghana as well this summer? I think I did a little short on it a while ago, so that could be a bit interesting, couldn't it? Now, seeing as Ghana are actually in the World Cup, and I'm actually supposed to be going to that game, so hopefully the Welsh aren't too upset. Um, Sorry, guys, for being rude. I'm just trying to put this on Reddit at the minute because I always forget to do this every single week without fail. I usually try and go to the settings first and get it all set up, but I inevitably forget. Anyway, while I'm setting it up, I just think there might. I don't know. There's just something about the Usos thing that's really off. Like really, really off. Oh, the Death Riders have just won. Right, I can talk to you about that afterwards. Like I said, guys, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm actually watching AEW at the same time because I said I was going to watch this as like a combination of AEW and WWE. By the way, I'm just throwing this out there for any AEW fans that are watching it. Has anyone seen Leo Rush? And how many drugs has he been taking? Like, Jesus Christ almighty, you wouldn't like to spill his pint, would you, at the minute? Yeah, looks like a right weirdo. Anyway, right, I'm watching Rush versus Darby Allin at the minute. Sorry, I'm still trying to get this Reddit thing going. So while I'm sorting my Reddit out, basically Raw started off with Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. I love the way that they had basically Oba going over Rock again, if you Rock, going over Brock again, essentially. Um, yeah, I was really impressed. I'm nearly finished messing about, hopefully. I was really impressed with the way that Lesnar sold for Obafemi. He's made him look like an actual threat because, to be honest, with the stature of Brock Lesnar, he could have been a complete arsehole. Like, if Triple H had come up to Brock Lesnar and said, yeah, we need you to put this guy over and make yourself look weak, he could have turned around and said, what, this kid from NXT? You know what I mean? He could have just been like, no, absolutely not. But he is doing the favours for Oba. I don't know whether Oba's going to go over. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Brock still went over, but they just made Oba look like a really big threat. I mean, obviously, there's ways and means they can do it. So they could have a DQ where Oba loses via disqualification, but absolutely batters Lesnar like they did for Taker against Triple H about 10, 15 years ago, because obviously Triple H lost the match, but like the Undertaker had to be carted out, so it kind of looked like Hunter had won, even though he hadn't, kind of thing. So maybe they could do that. I don't know. But yeah, I would have liked a bit more physicality. I love the way that he pushed him over the rope. Clotheslined him over the rope, but yeah, it would have been nice if they'd had a bit more of a tussle, to be honest. Oh, here we go. Right, I think. Is my Reddit working? Is my Reddit working? By the way, guys, you can follow me on Reddit, cheap plug. I'm on there for wrestling as Geeks and Wrestling. And also, I've got an AEW thing on there, which I can't actually announce because it involves the F word. But basically, if you just go to Geek Boy Meta, I've got a load of different communities on there. There's like Liverpool. There's some politically stuff. There's the Tekla fan page because I'm a massive Tekla fanboy. She is like my favourite wrestler in the world. Let me have a look. What am I putting this under? Geeks and Wrestling. Come on, come on, come on. Submit to Reddit. And yeah, cool, we're done. Right. So yeah, we had Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. Not in a match, obviously, but just like the promo at the start. We also had. Let's have a look. Oh yes, so the first match of the night, it was the Vision well, what remains of the Vision, basically. Basically, Austin Theory and Logan Paul, who actually went over against the Usos, because again, that was really weird, to be honest. It was really weird. They've brought this whole thing back with Jey Uso from a while ago. So when Jey was like going absolutely mental about, I don't know, 7 or 8 months ago or something along them lines. And yeah, they've kind of brought back Psycho J again, and like Jimmy's now having to kind of try and calm his brother down and everything. The whole thing's a bit weird, but in the match, it was a box standard match. It was nothing bad, nothing brilliant, just a nice, normal tag team match, basically. And all of a sudden, LA Knight comes out and goes to attack Jay. Was it Jay? I think it was Jay. No, not Jay. Sorry. He goes to attack Logan Paul, and also goes to attack Austin Theory. Anyway, when Logan gets attacked, LA Knight then comes out. He gets involved, and then he throws Jay these knuckle duster things, whatever they're called, brass knuckles, and in front of the referee, Jey Uso used the brass knuckles, and the Vision won the match, and now they're tag team. Well, not tag team champions. They're going to basically be tag team. What you call it? Number one contenders, because they're going to be from New York next week, Monday Night Raw. I do wonder whether CM Punk might now get involved in that and maybe cost the Usos the tag team titles, even though I actually do think that Punk and the Usos might end up turning on Roman, which is a bit random, but you could do either, I suppose. But yeah, it was just really, really, it was just like, what? Why would you do that in front of the referee? I mean, I know they don't lose the titles, but it was just, I don't know, it was just, that was a bit random for me, to be honest. Swig of water. Those of you listening on podcasts will be used to be mine now. That was me sipping water, basically. Next, we heard Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Nice little promo, nothing to write home about, but basically, long story short, confirmed that AJ Lee and Becky Lynch are going to be facing each other at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch will go over. AJ Lee will get a nice reception in the end, and then I think AJ will probably go off back into her own universe, because obviously I mean, bloody hell, I mean, that woman's doing so much. She's a TV producer, she's an actor, she's a writer, she's got all these projects if you follow AJ Lee going on. I mean, I'm surprised she's got time to do this, to be honest. So I would have thought AJ Lee will go over, sorry, Becky Lynch will go over at WrestleMania. So yeah, the promo was alright, nothing to write home about. I say Raw was good. The actual wrestling portions, not so much. We were treated to Javon Evans versus Grayson Waller. Yeah. Let me put it this way. I had to do some cleaning and also get some stuff ready to go to Liverpool, and I chose the Grayson Waller match to basically do that in, because I wasn't really interested, to be honest. I feel a bit sorry for Grayson Waller, to be as much as you can feel sorry for a bloke who's been paid a couple of million quid a year to wrestle for WWE. Rush and Darby Allin are absolutely chopping the hell out of each other at the minute. I do like Rush as well, actually. But yeah, Grayson, it's a shame, because you can tell he's a really, really talented man. He's a really, really talented pro wrestler. And he's just not being, I mean, like, Austin Theory's going on to bigger and better thing, and Grayson's just being treated like this. Well, I mean, what he is he's a jobber, basically, at the minute. So I wouldn't be surprised if Grayson Waller, that little list that WWE usually drop just after WrestleMania, when everyone's talking about Mania still, and they kind of sneak this little list out, which usually starts with "Thank you very much for your endeavours." I wouldn't be surprised if Grayson is going to get one of those, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see Grayson Waller on the TV program that I'm watching now, which is AEW. Which is a shame because he's a really good wrestler, but I mean, they're going to have to do something for Grayson quite sharpish because he's just. I mean, he had that Grayson Waller show, and I mean, when they went to Australia, he was getting to the point where he was really, really over. Actually, hey, yeah, how are we doing? You're all right. He was really, really over, and now he's just like I don't know. It's just very, very weird. I love the Seth Rollins bit and Paul Heyman. It was Darby Allin's just won. Well done, Darby. And he's just been powerbombed by Mark Davis for some reason. And the whole Don Callis family are coming out now. What the hell is going on? There's a guy in. Okay, Andrade is not happy that Darby Allin's been getting beaten up. Anyway, folks, I'm not going to keep on watching that. So, if you're wondering what I'm doing, basically, I'm trying to watch AEW at the same time as talk to you guys because, long story short, I didn't actually. I know I put WWE and AEW, but I didn't actually finish watching it before I came on. So I'm currently watching it now. Currently watching my girl Tekla, the best wrestler in the world. If you've not seen Tekla, watch her. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, Tekla is awesome, and she's a bit insane and a bit weird. She reminds me of Mrs. Meta actually. Let me have a look. Get Arteta out. I'm assuming that's tongue in cheek, yeah. Okay. I think if he was to be sacked now, it would look rather curious, to be honest. Hello, buddy. I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, it's been a bit of a. It was a bit of a day today. I'll just leave it at that. But yes, I'm very, very pleased that tomorrow is tomorrow because I will be leaving work at around hopefully 3 o'clock. And basically, long story short, I'm going straight to the pub and then I'm going to buy some beers for me and my brother. And we're going to drink those beers on a train going to Manchester. And then we're going to get into our hotel and drink more beers in Manchester. Then we're going to wake up with a hangover and drink more beers on the way to Liverpool. And then we're going to watch Liverpool, drink more beers in Liverpool, get back to Manchester, drink even more beer in Manchester, get up on Sunday, drink even more beers in Manchester, and then drink beer in Leeds. That is my plan for the next 3 days, and I make no apology for how unhealthy and irresponsible that sounds, but there we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, Mrs. Meta. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mrs. Meta is currently having big sleepies upstairs at the minute and counting sheep. Yeah, yes, freedom. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I honestly, I tell you what, I cannot wait for the next 2 to 3 weeks because I've got my like I said, Mrs. Meta is going away with Baby Meta, and they're going to a secret location that I do not have to go to, and I will be off work that week. And basically, the TV that's in the background, I'm going to be sat on my big fat arse watching TV most of the week and drinking beer and eating takeaways. But there we go. Hey Liam, how you doing? You all right? I will say hello to Mrs. Meta as well. Yeah, by the way. Hi Liam, you all right? Yes, I hope you enjoyed that stream the other day. I got some stick for that, Liam. Let me tell you now, buddy. I put the stream about standing up to racism, the live stream that I did from Leeds, and I made the mistake this afternoon of that's a very interesting message, Grant, by the way. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with that, to be honest. Oh my good God Almighty. Can't actually watch AW at the minute, guys, because my TV is being very naughty. I'm going to try and reset it again. So I will talk to you guys and talk and stall for time, basically. Let's have a look. But yeah, Liam, no, it was. I made the mistake, and someone had to explain this to me the other day. But like when I first started using Facebook, it was like, I wouldn't say it was pleasant. You still had like knobheads and people going on and this, that, and the other. But I don't use Facebook that often. So a lot of these streams, you know, you can post your own streams and content and this, that, and the other onto platforms. Just, I posted that on there. And honestly, I know it's a bit naive. I didn't think anything of it. Just literally put my stream for stand up to racism, put proud of my city, blah, 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 blah. Posted it, didn't think anything of it. That was yesterday, I think it was. Was it yesterday I went to the protest? Or was it Tuesday? I don't know, I can't bloody remember now. Anyway, long story short, so posted that this morning, didn't think anything of it whatsoever. Came back about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours later when I went for my lunch. And literally one of the videos has got something ridiculous. I think it's currently on about 3,500 views. And this is like a, I don't know, a 30-second clip or something like that. And the comments, like, I'm used to people having a go at me now and calling me all sorts. Like I say, it's water off a duck's back. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. If you say F me, I will just say F you back and just literally take you off the stream. Doesn't bother me at all. But some of these comments were like, bloody hell. Like, you hear about these people who are so obsessed with politics, like it is their actual life. And but then you come off it and you kind of think, well, it's social media. People are a bit weird on there. I'm sure it's not like that in real life. It really, really is. Seriously, some of these comments were just like, well, I've had people asking me all sorts if I'm actually English, and calling me a, I don't know, a left wing. I can't think. I can't think of the name I got called earlier. A left wing sympathiser. Such a ridiculous, utter and complete ridiculous nonsense. So in response, as you know, I'm quite a sarcastic person. I put basically I put in my own video underneath. You know, the comments that I just basically put, oh, it appears as if I've offended lots of people. I'm really, really sorry. In response, please accept this apology and this wonderful picture that I posted for all of you. And the picture, I can't say the word for obvious reasons, but it's just, it's this picture of a sticker that a Reading fan, as in Reading, go on Tekla. I'm sorry, I'm just watching Tekla because my feed's come back on now. Honestly, I love this guy. Please watch Tekla if you can do. Anyway, there was this picture that this Reading fan left in a like a stadium toilet or something along those lines, and on the picture, it's got Tommy Robinson, but then it says is a oh, Cockney rhyming slang, a runt. So I decided to have a little bit of fun with these Facebook weirdos. I was just like, please accept my apologies. By the way, I hear this guy's one of your heroes. Here's a nice picture for you. Yeah, and that really didn't help. That just stoked the fire even more, to be honest. But yeah, whatever. Fuck those people. Anyway, moving swiftly on. If they can't take a joke, then whatever. Let's have a look. Did I miss the stream? Well, to be honest, yeah, it was a bit it was a bit of an impromptu because I think you commented on one of the shorts videos, I think. It was an impromptu thing because I thought to myself, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do speak about politics. I mean, but I do that more on Reddit and stuff like that. I try to avoid it on here just for people. Just people like seriously get like a sense of humour. It's not life and death. Well, I mean, it can be obviously, but like just bloody grow up, will you? And yeah, so I went along to Leeds just to have a look at how big the protest was because it was right next to my bus stop. Basically, that's the only reason I went. And I looked and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to live stream this. I don't know what possessed me, but I was just like, no, I'll just live stream it. Didn't think anything of it. And like the live stream, it was only on for 40 minutes, and I think it's just sat underneath 1,000 views. I think there was 940 odd on the day, and again, like the people and left wing as well, by the way, which is more what I am, I suppose. Although some stuff I am a bit right wing on. I don't know. I don't know what wing I am basically. Human wing. And some of the comments are just like, it, uh, if I ever see you on the street, please stay away from my son level, basically. It's just like you need to go and see someone like I did last year. Um, you're not well kind of comments. Anyway, so yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. Long story short, it was like an impromptu live feed, so it wasn't one that I'd scheduled or anything. But yes, let's have a look. You got stick for the protest stream. I did, Liam, as I've just described. Oh, go on, Tekla. She's doing the spider walk now. That's awesome. I did, Liam. I got lots of stick for the stream on Facebook. I didn't get. Funnily enough, the YouTube comments weren't as bad. I got lots of stick for a Pride one that I did last year because we have like Leeds Pride in the middle of the city centre. And again, me being naive old man, I was just like, oh, I'll just film this Pride stream. Um, Again, I know how stupid this sounds now in retrospect. It didn't even cross my mind that that would be an issue. Didn't cross my mind at all. And some of the comments, like again, like I mean, I'm not. There's some literally that I cannot repeat. That was so like I don't know how a normal human being would not comprehend that that is not the sort of things that normal human beings say. Like, what are you on, basically? Um, but it was insane. But I still got 5,000 views for it as well, so that was really good. So all those people actually were commenting on my Facebook video of the protest stream. It's like, oh, thanks guys, you've just boosted my views. How bloody stupid are you? But anyway, let's have a look. Haha, what can I say on the Portsmouth? Grant. Okay, yeah, that makes sense now, Grant. Yeah, play up Pompey. I can still remember, Grant. I don't know if you're probably nowhere near my age. I can still remember, Grant, because I'm a mighty Liverpool fan. I can still remember Ronnie Whelan in 1992 having to score from John Barnes's free kick that hit the post just so that we could get Portsmouth to an FA Cup replay. I think it was at Villa Park because Pompey had actually gone 1-0 up, and I want to say Portsmouth were in the old First Division at that point, so like what Championship level now, and I think I can't remember actually. I think it was Darren Anderson or something like that that got the first goal. And honestly, I was sat there sobbing because I was like a 10.5-year-old kid at the time. I was like, Daddy, we're going to lose. Ah. And then John Barnes hit this free kick and Ronnie Whelan tapped one in. I'm like, yay. But then my dad had to explain, you do know there's going to be another match. And I was just like, oh my God, this is awful. And then, long story short, we ended up beating Pompey on penalties, I think. I think Portsmouth won two of them, possibly. Won two of them. Sorry, it scored two pennos, basically. What is Tekla doing now? Wow. I didn't know ladies did that sort of thing. So Tekla, who I've been telling you about, who is like my favourite wrestler, has just removed a pair of brass knuckles from her brassiere, as in her wrestling sports bra brassiere. Fair play, girls, if that's what you where you hide your violent weapons, I suppose. Fair play. I'll have to tell the wife that one actually. Um, in fact, no, I won't tell Mrs. Mayor that because she'd probably use the brass knuckles on me in a minute. To be fair, no, she wouldn't do that really. Maybe she would sometime. She might have done a few years ago when I nearly set the kitchen on fire. That's a whole thing, by the way. Yes, I did nearly set our kitchen on fire. And Mrs. Meta was, quite understandably, to be fair as well, not hugely impressed, to say the least. I got into a lot of trouble for that, to say the least. Right, still trying to watch AEW, and I'm giving up because I just cannot get the damn TV to work. So there we go. Let's have a look. Like and subscribe. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you for always putting like and subscribe. You are appreciated. Jay Celtic. Hey, Jay Celtic. How you doing? Hi. How you doing? Just checking in. Not spoken for a while. I'm all right, Jay Celtic. Like I said, it was a bit of a shit day today. If I'm being completely honest, I've already seen that John Moxley match, so I'm going to come off that. I'm just going to put MJF's promo on, even though I won't be able to hear it because it's muted, obviously. Yeah, no, and I'm not too bad, Jay Celtic. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward, my friend, to getting out of Yorkshire tomorrow. I will be getting a taxi from work about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I will be at Weatherspoons Leeds train station. I'm going to wait for my brother with a 4 pack of Kronenberg or Peroni or something like that. And I'm going to do it old school. And we're going to drink basically 4 lots of beers on a train, like I used to when I used to go to football matches. And then we're going to go and have a brother weekender. We're going to drink lots of beer and spend lots of money and forget about real life for a change. Because yeah, I'm doing all that basically because I'm going to see Liverpool versus Borussia Dortmund. By the way, it's a Legends match, but just in general, mate. To answer your question, I'm just looking forward to getting the F out of Yorkshire. As much as I love my hometown, it's nice just to get away sometimes. To be honest, let's have a look. Liam, you can't legislate for. Yes, well, I won't repeat that, Liam, but I completely agree with you. And can I just say on that as well, like, I'm not one of those people who says, don't put British flags up. Look, there's nothing wrong with loving your country. If you're just a normal, nice person and you're just like, look, I like all the people that live in, but I like England and I like waving St George's. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being proud of your country whatsoever, and I won't criticise anyone for doing it. It's what some of the intentions behind some of those flags were for some people, where it was not about national pride, is what I would say, basically. Let's have a look. Grant, it's the same as hotel shouting, Union Jack waving weirdos. Just ignore them. Oh, I do, Grant. To be honest, yeah, no. Like I said, Grant and Liam. Yes, I don't mind. I don't mind, lads. To be honest, Grant meet Liam, Liam meet Grant. By the way, um, yeah. No, to be honest, lads, it doesn't bother. It just doesn't bother me. I just don't. I was quite annoyed by people like that first when this whole culture war started, but like now I just find them fascinating's the wrong word, or is it the right word? Maybe I don't. I just find them like I don't understand how people can actually think um in that way and think it's normal. I guess I don't know. I just I don't know. I just find it very very odd to be quite honest. Oh, MJF. Why is MJF looking so worried for? Uh, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll tell you about AEW in a minute, guys. Let's have a look. I would say well played. Yes, there we go. That's the crazy thing. It shouldn't be an issue. A person live streams a parade so well. Well, yeah, that's the thing, Liam. It's just like the thing that I didn't understand about the Pride one. Well, I got a load of stick for. Well, obviously these are very homophobic people. I'm not like I said. I'm not going to repeat the language that was used, but I did not appreciate it to say the least. I mean, and before anyone asks, I am happily married with a child upstairs. I'm not gay and everything, blah blah blah. But I have gay women friends, gay male friends, and look, they're human beings at the end of the day. And I'll sit and have a pint with any gay bloke or any gay woman or whatever it is. Like they're just human beings. You know what I mean? Like me and one of my gay female friends. She's a massive Marvel comic books nerd, and we don't sit there talk oogling go. Well, I mean, we have to. She's a bit like me actually. We have just sat there. Like I probably shouldn't really be saying this with my missus upstairs, but we have just sat there looking at like ladies in nightclubs. Very drunk, going, yeah. She's even worse than me, but anyway, I've just put my female friend on blast now. Sorry, what the hell were we talking about now? Oh yeah, no, yeah. So it's it's just like guys, but I kind of said to the people, and they all of a sudden left. I was just like, let me ask you a question. If you hate gay people, can I just ask why are you watching gay pride live stream? And literally, you know the bit where you can see how many people that you've got on, and it gives like a live count when you doing the live stream. literally everyone just went and all disappeared, and I was like, ah, there we go. But there we go. Hey, Johnny, how you doing, Johnny? Long time no see. How you doing, mate? You all right? Shania, Channel Son. Oh, yeah, as in Chael Sonnell, the UFC fighter. I used to like him, mate. I used to proper like him because he was a bit CM Punkish, and he used to run his mouth, and I don't know what it was because I know Chael used to wind a lot of people up, Johnny. But I loved him. I thought he was brilliant. Like it was when I was very much in heel Leon mode at that point. I'm more babyface Leon now. Although I very nearly turned heel today, I won't even go into that. But yes, there was a bit of an incident earlier, which I may or may not talk about. It was very unpleasant. Anyway, but yeah, I used to love Shale. I was just like, me and a group of lads would used to watch UFC because they used to have it on at this boozer in Leeds called the Box. Shout out to the Box and all the heads in the crew. And they used to have UFC matches on, and everyone would just sat there, all the Yorkshire people, were like, boo, Cough Shale, and this, that, and the other. And I'd be the one bloke that was sat there going, God, Shale. But yeah, no, I used to like him, mate. He was very, very good. Chuck Liddell, yeah, what a fighter, mate. What a fighter. What a fighter Chuck Liddell was. That was my sort of era, actually, when it was Liddell and you had Tito Ortiz, Ken Shamrock, Royce Gracie, Dan Severn, who I knew from WWF as then was. Me and one of the boys used to watch uh, Pride Fighting as well, and they had this big Russian fella that my mate used to love, bald headed, and he was just like he was adamant he was like the best fighter in the world. I think he might have gone to UFC. Big Russian fella, about six. Somebody, if you know in the comments, let me know who it was because I don't know. I forget the fella's name, but he was about 6'4", 6'5", built like an absolute brick shit. Put it this way, lads watching. If he spilt his pint, you'd be going to get him several more very, very quickly. But yeah, that was my sort of era as well. I used to like Alistair Overeem as well. I used to enjoy watching his fights. Who else did I like? UFC back in the day. I don't know. I did actually. Sorry for anyone waiting for the wrestling stuff. By the way, um, I went to see UFC Manchester about 15 years ago. So I don't know if anyone went, give me a shout. But um, Dan Hardy, I think, won a lightweight belt, and Michael Bisping also won. And I think Randy. That was the other one I'm thinking of. Randy Couture, of course, like the arguably greatest fighter of all time. Couture was there as well. I can't remember if he won or lost. Actually, it was a really good card though. Anyway, because you had like Bisping, you had Dan Hardy, you had Couture. But it was that period of UFC where you knew who all the fighters were. And it was really really cool. There was I think Overeem might have been there actually. I can't remember. I don't think John Jones was there, but no, it was a great card, and this was the period of time where you could buy UFC tickets. So it was in the Manchester Arena as then was before obviously what happened, and I mean the tickets. Me and the lads bought tickets on the day no less. We got 20. They were 25 quid, and I was thinking to myself, well, 25 quid, you're going to be up in the nosebleeds. We were literally about 9 rows back from the actual octagon, and I was like, this is brilliant. And I thought to myself at the time, obviously, you know how people go and watch boxing and MMA fights and they get really into it and stuff. Other than football, I've never been one of those. I'll sit and watch a boxing match and enjoy it, but I won't be one of those like, go on, it's that and the other. But when you're watching it live, it's like, well, if you're a bloke or a woman, to be honest, you just turn into an absolute raving animal, even if you've not had a drink. I'm sat there and Dan Hardy's got think he had someone in a rear naked choke, and I was literally like, "Go on, Dad, go on!" And when Michael Bisping was hitting his opponent with the knees, I was just like everyone else going knees, knees like this, and you really get into it. And me and the lads when Bisping won, there's beers going up in the air, we're jumping around, celebrating with each other, and all this, blah 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 blah. Yeah, no, it was really, really good. It was really good. I'd like to see a UFC card at some point. It's a shame about the Richard Head that owns the promotion. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Sorry, guys, it's not me ignoring. I'm just like I take ages to read everyone's comment. I usually go waffling on Johnny or no, obviously, and yeah, and Finn and everyone else. You all know what I'm like. Shale Sonnen, yeah, Kane Vasquez, yes, what an oh mate, yes, Johnny, what an absolute fighter he was. Not sure about his time in WWE. Don't think that was the wisest use of WWE's money. It was a bit of a disaster. Johnny, biggest biceps in West Oregon. Anderson Silva. You took. Oh yes, Anderson Silva. And there was the other one as well. Was the one called There was Anderson Silva. There was another Silva as well. I forget who it is now. By the way, if we're doing UFC, by the way, seems we've gone on to this topic now. I really like Amanda Nunes. I think she's retired now, hasn't she? Or has she come back? I forget. So I'm kind of out of the MMA world at the minute, but I love that little run that Nunes went on. It was really, really good. I think she had that fight with Chris Cyborg as well. Obviously, there's Gina Carano. By the way, is anyone going to watch Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey? I usually stay away from like the whole gimmick fight thing because I mean, like some of them, like this ridiculous thing with Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. I'm just like, seriously, what are we doing here? But I think because Ronda and Gina are so they're not young, obviously, by any stretch of the imagination, but they're still, I mean, they both look bloody fantastic, by the way, as athletes before any lads say anything. Although, yes, I would still. Anyway, sorry. But they're still, you know what I mean? They're still looking like fantastic ring condition and everything. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be as good as, I mean, Ronda was just a phenomenon back in the day. And obviously, Gina was as well. So that I'm actually quite tempted to watch. I want to say it's on. Is it on May the 17th, 16th, or something along them lines? I don't know. It's just a shame that yet another Richard Head, the other Paul brothers, promoting it. Sadly, it's all right though. He got his arse handed to him by Adrian. Anyway, that's it, Johnny. Yeah, Wanderlei Silver. Yes, yes, absolutely. Don Fry. Bloody hell, yes, Don Fry, mate. Yeah. Um, Yeah, no, Johnny, literally, one of my mates, sorry, I know you've all been commenting, I'll get to the end of the comments in a minute. One of my mates, Johnny, once brought over, do you remember the old school UFC? So, like the first one where basically no one had a bloody clue what they were actually doing. And there were all these big fellas, like my size, basically, just wandering in, like 300 and 400 pound wrestlers thinking, oh, there's just a little bloke over there, blah, blah, blah. And one of the fights started off with this big African bloke. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to come in, eat a chicken leg, punch this bloke out, and I'll get my £10,000. But like, they had fighters with strikers and submission artists with like I don't know wrestlers. It was just absolute bedlam case because I don't think the UFC at the time had the rules that they have now. I don't think because I don't think they were under the what's it called in America? Is it the State Athletic Commission or something on them lines that basically moderates like all the combat sports like boxing and as in not professional wrestling, as in amateur wrestling and all that business. I don't because I think it was more underground at the time, so I don't think they had any like legislation for like what you could do in these fights. So you just had chaos. You had this one fellow that went up to this African bloke. This African bloke's got no idea what's going on. He just waddles into the ring, and this fellow literally runs into him and basically, you know that Superman punch that Roman Reigns does. He just gives him one of those. Bloke just falls over. Referee's just like, yeah, he's knocked out. And it was just, I mean, obviously, as it got to the latter stages, because it was a VHS that one of my mates brought around. This is how old I am, by the way. And again, surprisingly enough, it involved beer. So me and the lads are sat round and we bought, like, I don't know, we put three lots of 20 packs of beer. So there's like beer all over the floor. There's 4 or 5 lads there. We've had God knows how many lagers. God, I miss them days, by the way. And we're all sat there watching, but as the competition progressed, obviously you got rid of all the shit basically because it ended up being, I want to say it ended up being Shamrock again. I don't know if it was Royce Gracie, but it was one of the Gracie brothers, I believe, and that match was really really good. Um, but it was weird at the time because obviously I've got a huge amount of respect for the Gracie family for obvious reasons, but like when they were because I didn't know too much about MMA at the time, like Shamrock kept getting caught, and this Royce Gracie person, Royce Gracie basically had Shamrock, and he had him in this hold, and I kept turning over to my mate and saying, "Mate, he's literally just holding him like that. Why didn't you just punch him in the face and headbutt him?" And my mate was, because he'd been watching MMA for many years, it's like, "Leon, he can't get out of that hold." I was like, "What do you mean he can't get out of that hold? He's only holding his arms like that." But Shamrock, for love nor money, could not get out of this hold, and I think he ended up tapping out. I don't know if that was the first UFC. Um, it might have been the first tournament, but yeah, no, it used to be really, really cool back in the day. But yeah. Anyway, Chanel Son and the Goat, the McGregor before McGregor. Yes, absolutely, mate. The bad guy. Johnny, have you heard about Shale's traumatic upbringing? Yeah, it's really sad. His mum and dad are terrible people. Yeah, I read about it, lads, as well. Yeah, I'm not surprised he's very opinionated, to say the least. The Bell's biggest regret, the guy with all the charms, the man who got my attention. What do they call him? Johnny Wanderlei Silver, 6 feet tall, £205. I didn't know they could stack. Nice. Shale Peace on, and the P stands for undefeated. Glad you two have made friends. I'm better than John Jones. I'm better than Sean. Nice. I always love Shale. Sonnen, goddamn autocorrect. That's him. Yes, I'm not going to pronounce his name because you know how bad I am at pronouncing his name. That's the one. Yeah. Fedor. That was it. Yeah. Fedor. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, one of the lads bought the Pride thing over, and it threw me off a bit at the time because obviously the Pride setup's a bit different because they've got like them, like it's like a wrestling setup where they've got those like um silver pylon things around the ring, and it just makes it look way way high and stuff. But obviously the UFC was in the octagon. I can't. One of the lads bought this over, and I was like, it just looks like wrestling. This does, to be honest. But when he showed me Fedor, I was just like, wow, this fella is absolute mustard. You know what I mean? So, yeah, those were good memories. Sitting around LS6 in Hyde Park in Leeds, drinking beer with the boys at 3 o'clock in the morning, watching UFC, which I just can't do now, unfortunately. Watch Wanderlei Silver Pride versus. I think that might have been one of the ones, actually, Johnny, to be honest. Mark Hughes was better than Randy Couture. Do you know what, mate? That really threw me off just then. I've just realised who Mark Hughes was. I thought you meant Mark Hughes as in the bloody manager then for 1 minute. I was just like, if it was nutcase Mark Hughes from back in the day that used to play for bloody United, yeah, he probably would have been all right in UFC, to be fair. Let's have a look. Then, so it's real fights and gentlemen's rule. Boxing is boring. Who can jab the most? Well, over. Okay. Yeah, I know, Johnny. To be, I mean, look, I used to watch boxing. We were like a sort of a middleweight family. Like I said, I was speaking to one of the people on the streams the other day. I wasn't into heavyweight that much. I used to love Chris Eubank, Nigel Benn. I love that little feud that they had. Steve Collins was one of my guys, the Irish boxer. I'm trying to think who else was in that division actually, but it was the sort of middleweights that me and my dad used to enjoy. I did like the heavyweight boxing, obviously. I watched Mike Tyson versus Frank Bruno in Tokyo. I didn't go to Tokyo, obviously, but I've told this story like a million times. But for some reason, my old fella, this is I think this is like 1987. And obviously, I was about 7 or 8 years old. You know what it's like at that age. Like, your mum and dad are just like, yeah, 8 o'clock, go to sleep. You're like, all right, fair enough. For some reason, my dad woke me up in the middle of the night. Because I think he wanted to stay up and watch it as well. He gets me up out of bed in the middle of the night, puts this blanket over me, and he's just like, "This is Mike Tyson versus Frank Bruno. Watch it with me." And I was like, "Oh, all right." I was literally like, "What is going on?" But I have a recollection of Mike Tyson when he did those combinations against Frank Bruno. Don't get me wrong, Frank Bruno was class. He was really, really class back in the day. But I mean, he was just got absolutely bloody annihilated. I mean, he did well to hang on for as long as he did, Bruno. Um, but yeah, I remember watching that. Obviously, I used to love watching Lennox. I saw the ear biting live as well with Evander and Tyson. That was before Tyson went to WWE. WWF as then was, and that was the gnarliest thing I've ever seen. And like Holyfield, well, I mean, as you would, he was just sat there. It was just like someone had scratched his arm. It was just like, that man's just bitten my ear off. And you just like, bloody hell, Christ. If someone bit my ear off, I'd be rolling around like bloody um, Bernardo Silva. Uh, Sorry, couldn't resist that one. But Holyfield was literally like, ow, this man's just bitten my ear. And I was just like, yeah, no, I can remember watching that. I think, to be honest, Johnny, I kind of started going off it when I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was this ridiculous phase of time when you had, I forget who the boxer's name was. It might have been Gerald McLaren. Was it Gerald McLaren? Someone like that, who ended up crying in the ring. About a month later, there was the bloke who ended up being called the Fan Man, who ended up like descending into the ring, because it was like an open arena or something like that. And then there was the ear biting. And there was a couple of things, and I was just like, look, I can just watch WWE for scripted entertainment. This is shite. What are we doing here? I've kind of got back into it a little bit more ever since we've got like, not AJ, because I'm not an AJ fan, but I begrudgingly quite like Tyson Fury. I know me and Tyson Fury, like, politically are nowhere near each other, but I do have a begrudging respect for the bloke. I don't know what it is about Fury, but like, it was when he did that Undertaker sit up against Deontay Wilder. I popped hard for that. I was just like, that is freaking awesome. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I'm a bit more into it now. But like I said, it was early 90s for me, Johnny. To be honest, that's when I liked my boxing. But now I'll watch it periodically. But I'm not really into it myself, dude, anymore. Let's have a look. I love Bisping. Yep, indeed. Indeed. I love Bisping as well. Despite the fact he supports a very opposite team to mine. Let's have a look. GSP. Yes, Johnny. Of course. Bloody. Yeah, sure, Saint Pierre. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was one of my favourites as well. He was very good in Captain America as well. Shout out to GSP for that little cameo that he had. He played Baroque the Leaper, or was it? Is it Batrock the Leaper or Baroque the Leaper? I forget, but yeah, he did lots of leaping. GSP is the goat too. Yeah, Vasquez turning up into WWE for one show was a. It was. I mean, it was one of the yeah, exactly what Johnny says there. That's what I thought at the time. I think he literally went to Vince McMahon, because I said this at the time, because there was this whole thing about Vasquez basically kicking the shit out of Lesnar, when they were doing MMA, and like, it did just kind of seem like this childish thing, like, bring him over so I can beat him and I can get it off my record. And it's like, well, look, guys, as much as I love wrestling, by the way, I will get back onto the wrestling, folks, for the people who have tuned in for wrestling, podcast listeners tomorrow. Um, but wrestling is wrestling. Like, I know it's predetermined. It being predetermined doesn't bother me at all. It never has done. Like, it's like when people go on about, oh, wrestling's predetermined. Yes, so's the Avengers. That doesn't mean I don't watch it, because I know it's not real. You know what I mean? I watch wrestling for entertainment at the end of the day, but like, yeah, um, to try and get your wins and losses back in a predetermined athletic contest as opposed to an unpredetermined athletic contest is a bit. I, I was going to say childish, but just in case Brock Lesnar were to ever hear this, not that I'm sure Brock Lesnar has ever listened to one of my live streams, but just in case he is Brock, I mean you know harm. Yes, anyway. I feel like Brock, but yes, yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. Liam, I love Amanda. Yes, I thought Nunes was absolute mustard, mate. Absolutely loved her. I half fancy her, to be fair. Yeah, no, very good looking woman. To be honest, Liam, unfortunately, I don't think Amanda Nunes is going to be interested in the likes of you or me, from what I'm given to understand. Because she's happily married to a woman, I believe, otherwise known as her wife. Yeah, her wife. But yeah. But you can give it a go if you ever see Amanda Nunes. Just anyway. Uh, apparently, Francis and Garner is. He is Liam. Yeah, he's fighting. In fact, Singh's laptop appears to be working again now. Let me have a look. And Garner next fight, which I'm assuming is the next Netflix one, is. Oh, I thought my laptop was working. It decided not to work yet again. Thank you, Mr. Laptop. Sorry, folks, about this. I will get some actual decent technology one of these days. Um, when I can actually afford. Oh, here we go. What? No. Oh, Philip Linz, apparently. So I don't know if you lads know who that is. I've got no idea. But there's actually some news on this. Jake Paul is claiming he would knock out terrible former heavyweight champion boxer Francis Ngannou. What Jake Paul didn't say was that he would be prepared to have a MMA match with him. I would pay money for Francis Ngannou to have an MMA match with Jake Paul. I mean, literally, you are talking a pretzel by the time he'd finished with that man. Yeah, so Philip Linz, Liam, I hope that helps. Ronda got her head kicked off her shoulder by Holly Holm. Best MMA fighter is Khabib, surely. Yes, Khabib, mate. That was that. So that was when I was really into MMA. And for my sins, sadly, I used to be a Conor McGregor fan. If you lads are still are, then fine. But I know you shouldn't base everything on policies. And I try not to. Like Obafemi seems to have a few very strange political beliefs, and I kind of still like Obafemi. Like as long as they're not too, but it's like with Undertaker being a Republican. It's like I still obviously have respect for the Undertaker, but some of the things that Connor's come out with and his behaviour in recent times is not of the standard that I would personally require. Put it that way. But I used to obviously I watched when McGregor was like really really hot and he was absolutely on fire, and then obviously he had the Floyd Mayweather exhibition-y thing, but it was around that time when you had, I think McGregor was in UFC at the time, I think Lesnar was, and I think Rousey was, and like UFC was literally like just completely on fire because they had all the like these household names, and now I mean don't get me wrong, they still do, but in fact, being a Liverpool fan, guess who my favourite MMA fighter is? Should be pretty easy to work out. But yes. Johnny, have we just become best friends? I think you two. Think you two have. You guys need to do the Liam and Johnny podcast. There you go. There's an idea for you. Ngannou has about as much technique as me to be fair. He throws for the hills. Oh, fair play, fair play. Khabib and Islam MMA agreed. Khabib, Dad predicts all this too. It's crazy. Yeah, no, that was the thing, Jack. Now I've just literally remembered because I've gone on my tangent then. That mental thing where Khabib beat McGregor, and I can't remember what happened. So I think McGregor tapped out. I think didn't one of Khabib's coaches end up jumping over the bloody octagon and ended up like fly kicking someone? Oh yeah, no, 'cause it was because that all that shit that McGregor did to the bus. Because didn't he end up like attacking a bus or something like that? And he ended up in bloody um, jail in New York or something like that for like 2 hours or something daft. And then that was it. One of the fighters got injured, so I think one of the trains came over and basically battered one of McGregor's lot and McGregor as well. And it was just like, what the hell is going on? It was like, this is like more WWE than WWE's WWE. You know what I mean? But yeah, mad. Umar is so likable as well, and has a totally different style to Islam. And Khabib is a better striker. Big up Mighty Mouse. Tom Aspinall punched John Jones jaw for his foot. I'm not a fan of John Jones either, lads. To be honest, but obviously, again, it goes without saying I respect what he's done in MMA for the actual sport, but again, not my cup of tea as a human being, to be honest. Although I did pop for that time that he called out Brock Lesnar. Um, I love the thing with Daniel Cormier as well. He's another one, Dan Cormier, just because he's such a nice bloke, you know what I mean? As well as um, that time when Brock Lesnar came in the ring and basically shoved Daniel Cormier on the floor. Cormier just literally pops back up and he was just like, come on then, let's do it right now. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, obviously those things, I wouldn't say they're staged, but like, I mean, you do look at the things sometimes, you're like, yeah, that looks about as real as literally a promo in AEW or something like that, but still. Let's have a look. I am not a fan of Lita to Pure. Oh, you've lost me now. Lost me now, lads, to be honest. I was gutted when he stretched Max. Oh, Max Holloway. He's another one of mine, Max Holloway. Yeah, really, really enjoy him as well. He was on fire about I think Max Holloway if I can say a word, Holloway was doing really well when my son had just been born. I don't know if I'm totally right on the dates on this, but it might not when he was just born. It might have been the first couple of years. So it would have been. Am I thinking 2016 to 18? Am I in the right ballpark then? Oh, tell you another one I used to like as well. He, he wrestled in AEW very briefly. I forgot his damn name now. He got that bad mother, whatever it is, belt from The Rock. Oh my god! Right, I'll carry on reading the comments, lads. Just shout out who it is. I'll know who it is straight away. Um, no, name's completely gone. Pride is like WWE. Rope rings, not an octagon. That was the one. Yeah, yeah. Mark Hughes had an incredible fight. So I want to take a kick off of him. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mark Hughes or Mark Hughes. Tyson Fury and Morrissey are very similar to me. I adore their artistry. Can't get on board with their worldviews. Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Hell yeah, that goth mommy from WWE. Right, I like your hoodie. Oh, thank you, Benedict Cunningham. How you doing, mate? You all right? Yes, that is goth mommy. That is Rhea Ripley. Who that? God, that was a bit weird, though, wasn't it? There you go. Yes. Like I said, Benedict, I like to consider myself a gentleman, but I'll since it's a bit late, there's no one watching anyway. I will be ungentlemanly for a change. I totally would. Anyway, moving swiftly, moving swiftly on, just in case the wife hears. If you hear someone bounding down the stairs now with a baseball bat, you know that my wife just heard them. You see Tommy Fury's fighting Eddie Hall. Absolute joke. Oh, not that Tommy Fury. I tell you what, I'm fed up of hearing about him, to be honest. That thing that he had with his missus, what was it? Did they have some sort of stupid reality TV program or something? Because like the girls that I used to work with, like they were telling me all about Tommy Fury. I was like, obviously I know women watch MMA as well and boxing, so it's not a thing. But like the women that I used to work with were not interested in sports whatsoever. And I was just like, how the bloody hell do you know about Tommy Fury? And they were like, oh, he's had an argument with his missus on this program. Blah, blah, blah. What is this shit that you were on about? And honestly, they were just waffling on about it for bloody hours. And I was just like, that just sounds like utter dog water. Please don't ever talk to me about it again. But there we go. Um, do you know, actually, lads, I dropped myself in it earlier because shout out to the ladies that I work with, by the way. Well, not one of them. But, but we were on about films. You know, when you're at work and in general, you say to someone like, "What's your favourite film?" This, that, and the other. There's a goal at work where I'm trying to get convinced to watch The Godfather because I'm into all the mafia films like Godfathers, Goodfellas, Scarface, King of New York, etc., etc. Basically, yeah, all them classics, and I don't know what possessed me, but they ended up saying that. Oh well, what did you and your missus watch back in the day? And I said, well, I had to go through the horrendous experience of when I was trying to woo my wife, of watching a film called 27 Dresses, and I'm just like, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, lads, look, to be blunt, obviously, sometimes you have to, how do you put this politely? You have to make sacrifices to get to the point that you wish to go to. Yes. Um, but I mean, I'm watching this film with well, obviously Mrs. now, but early Mrs. at the time, and I'm sat there literally like, can I pull my eyes out? I mean, my God, I mean, as in literally, it, one of the most appalling films I have ever seen. I didn't have a bloody clue what was going on, to be honest. I mean, it finished, and literally, it was like someone pulling a pin out of your arse. And like literally, I don't know if any of you have ever watched Carry On. It was like, you know, when that Carry On Camping, when that fella accidentally sets his own arse on fire and he ends up having to get into a bucket and he puts his arse in the bucket and he does that face where he's like, ah, like that. Literally, when the credits roll, I was like, oh my God, thank Christ Almighty for that. But I mentioned this to the girls I work with, and one of them's in the background. Oh, I used to like that. Did you? All of a sudden, I was just like, oh my God. Half an hour later, seriously. Anyway, shout out to my ladies. George Masvidal. Yes, thank you, Liam. That's him. Yeah. Yeah, the Diaz's as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fought for the BMF belt. Yeah. I remember when Rocky brought it out. I think I watched that pay per view as well, actually. Let me have a look. Sorry guys, I will be getting on to Aussie Wrestling in a second. Elijah, how you doing, Elijah? You alright? Hey mate, you ending in 5 minutes? Maybe a bit longer, Elijah. Probably about another 10 minutes. I'm gonna have a sneaky drink, seeing I'm not off tomorrow, but I've literally got half a day's worth of work, so I'm gonna treat myself to a sneaky drink after I've got off for you guys. But I'll probably be on for another 10 minutes, maybe 15. Let's have a look. I'm Limelight, sorry, but a little annoyed, to be honest. The Trent interview about Klopp that was published by Madrid last night. You joking? Is it what last night, Elijah? Hang on, let me have a look, because I've completely missed this today. Because I've got a again, cheap plug. One of my Reddit communities is, I might just do the cheap plug now. I'm called the Anfield Geek. Surprise, surprise. On Reddit, and basically it's I'm trying to like build that up basically. But long story short, basically I do like team predictions and writing about Liverpool and blah 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 and all this business. But I'll also post, you know, bits and pieces like news articles and goals and this, that, and the other. But I don't recall hearing anything about Trent and Klopp. I was going to say I was on This Is Anfield earlier, actually. I didn't see anything on there. Let's have a look. Trent and Klopp. Flop. There's something here about Roy Keane having a go at Trent. Oh, that'll be on bloody Neville's thing, won't it? What's it called? Stick to football. I'll have a look in a minute. Though Elijah, thank you for the tale, mate. Yeah, we don't care about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you know what, Elijah? Maybe I should go to. Maybe I should call this a day and go to bed. Actually, mispronouncing the name Trent Alexander-Arnold. Well, I mean, well, to be honest, Elijah, at the end of the day, like I said, Trent can do one. Like it's. I still have a random feeling he'll end up back at Liverpool one day. By the way, don't know why. I could be completely wrong, but like I think he might want to finish at Liverpool. I mean, look, let's have it right. He's not exactly set the world on fire for Madrid himself. So yeah, I still think there might be a possibility because he'll want to like do revisionist history and he'll want to like restore his reputation. But I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think somewhere Trent could have gone where he wouldn't have got that amount of stick. I mean, let's say for argument's sake we'd got £120 million for Trent and he'd gone to Bayern Munich, just for argument's sake, and he'd said, I always wanted to play for Bayern Munich, which would be a bit weird. But still, you get the point. I think if he'd said that and we'd got a fee for him, and he just said, guys, look, I just want to try something else in Germany. Obviously, people would have still been pissed, don't get me wrong, but I think that probably a lot of local fans would have been like, well, I mean, we've got 120 million quid for you, so fair enough. But it was just the fact he kept everyone hanging until the last minute. I mean, I suppose you could make the same argument for Ibu, but I mean, the difference was that Trent was doing not loads of interviews, but he'd be dropping his cryptic thing. To be fair to Ibu, he's being polite. He's been asked a couple of times. And I don't have a problem with the way that Ibu's answered any of them questions, to be honest. I mean, it's not like the whole thing with Trent and his agent and this, that, and the other, and his brother's coming out with nonsense. And obviously, they're protecting the brother, which is fair enough. We've all got to protect families. But yeah, the way Ibu's done it is fine. Obviously, I'd like Ibu to stay, but the way Trent did it was still, I'm still not okay with it. But one thing I will say for Trent though, I do admire him for, shout out for the way he defended Vinny the other day. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a massive fan of Vinny Jr. by any stretch of the imagination, but the way he defended Vinny after what happened with that absolute weapon in Benfica, I will give Trent a shout out for that because that was very well done. Let's have a look. Liam, mate, when you find a girl who you can get into Sopranos, you know you have a keeper. We've been together for 8 years. Oh, congratulations, Liam. Well done, mate. Me and Mrs. Met have been together for... Oh, God, Christ, I should know this, shouldn't I? What was it, 2012? I think me and Mrs. Better have been together for 13 years, actually. Because basically, me and Mrs. Better, but basically, I'm sure lads don't want to know this because it's a bit, but me and Mrs. Better were always like best. We were being best friends for like ages and ages and ages, and then I don't know. One day I was on the market and Mrs. Better was on the market, and basically she was gonna. I'm giving away personal details, but long story short, she was going to go and have a date with someone, and I was like, "Oh, right, nice one, love. Let me know how it goes and everything." And I was like, yeah, see you soon, blah, blah, blah. And went off to have a drink with the lads, didn't think anything of it. And all through that night, there was something at the back of my neck, and I was literally like, there's something bothering me about this date. And anyway, me and the lads carry on drinking, we're watching football and this, that, and the other. Wake up the next day, and the first thing I had in my head, I was like, there's something not right about this. Why am I worried about this date for? And literally, this is like, you know how stupid us blokes are, but this is literally like this is 3 days at this point. And eventually I was just like, right, Leo, seriously, what the f is wrong with you? One of your best mates going for a date. And all of a sudden, again, because men are stupid, I was like, oh shit, you've got to be kidding me. And I was just like, dude, there are literally 300,000 women in this city. Please don't tell me you're going to pick the one that would be the most difficult to try and get through. Because obviously we were in a big group and everything. Me and the lads and lasses used to hang out, and there'd been like, I was going to say that we'd all swap partners, but that sounds like something that not like that, obviously. Although maybe we didn't know. But yeah, there've been combinations of different people going out with each other and this that. I was never really involved. I had a missus at the time who was in the group and everything. Then we broke up and blah blah blah. But I'm sat there going, mate, this is just a terrible, terrible idea. Anyway, 14 years later, she sat upstairs in my bed next to my son. Go figure. There you go. Backdoor warrior. Aye. That's none of your business, Lee. That's none of your business, Elijah. Dear God, has it got to this time of night already? Let's have a look. Liam Jones, the fact that Trent was able to speak fluently. Thank you, Liam. Exactly this. I'm going to read this out properly. The fact Trent was able to speak fluent Spanish in his first press conference must have been galling for Liverpool supporters. Either he's a polyglot or he had been planning the Madrid move for 18 months. Oh, no, Liam, no, because what happened was on the flight to Spain, Trent had a bit of spare time. He read a whole Spanish language book and it literally just went into his brain because he's got a photographic memory, so that's how he was able to negotiate the press conference. Literally, like, I'm sat there watching it, and obviously I'd already said my piece about Trent by that point. I'm sat there watching it, and I'm literally sat there like this. I was just like, I mean, mate, seriously, like, because it was good. I mean, obviously Trent's a highly intelligent man at the end of the day, but I'm sure he could have just picked it up in. Well, let's have it right. To do that level as, but I can't speak a foreign language. I don't know if any of you lads can. I'm hopeless at languages. Absolutely bloody hope. I got an F in French, basically, and I was the only person in my year to get an F in French. Everyone else got between a D and an A. And like the only thing that I could say was "Voulez-vous cher avec moi?" I told my mum because I was like, you know, when you do these spelling things at the end where you've got to say, what were they called, compound sentences or whatever it was. You used to have to do at GCSE level. I couldn't think of anything else, and I had another minute, and I actually said this to the French-speaking French teacher, and she looked at me as if I'd just fallen out of a dog's backside. And I told my mum, told my old fella's literally like shaking his head. My mum bursts out laughing. I was like, "Oh, mum, don't make fun of me." It's like, Leon, do you know what that sentence means? And then she told me, and I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "Please don't tell me I propositioned my French teacher." Yeah, but I mean, look, the point is, like, I'm guessing even if you're very, very intelligent, it's going to take you at bare minimum. If you're talking fluent, it's going to take you bare minimum what? At least 5 to 6 months, surely. Bear in mind, you've got to get all the grammar and pronunciation right as well. And what Trent did, it was completely on point. You could tell he practiced and rehearsed that. So, I mean, yeah, I reckon you're right, mate. I reckon at least 18 months. At least bare minimum. Liam, go and rinse your mouth out. Oh, he won't, Elijah. Liam is from the dark side. Leave big bollocks, Trent alone. Mate, going to have. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, Elijah. I'll try not to think about that. Folks who are, I'm just going to come off the comments for a minute, guys, because I'm just conscious of the fact that I've gone off the wrestling for about half an hour. Just very quickly, folks, for those of you who are interested in the wrestling, who are listening to this podcast. So there was the Seth Rollins thing with Paul Heyman. I thought that was very well done, excellently well done. Shout out to Heyman taking another bump from Rollins. Him being arrested by the cops was bit a bit Stone Cold Steve Austin 1998. It kind of did actually look like Austin when he was being arrested, when he had the I'm not through with you, Vince, I'm not through with you, not yet by a long shot. And I think that was like 98 or something like that. It's like, as much as I like Seth Rollins is not Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just saying. Let's have a look. Yeah, just quickly after that, there wasn't really much else, to be honest, folks. The Kabuki Warriors lost to Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. I actually feel a bit sorry for Bailey and Lyra because there was just no, and this has been going on for a little bit now, actually. There was just no energy in the crowd for him, and I feel really sorry for both of them because they're two very talented wrestlers, but there's just something about. I think Lyra's fine because she's only like she's about 23 years old. She's got plenty of time, and Bailey's like such a good wrestler, and there just seems to be. I don't know what it is with her, like, because whenever Bailey comes over here, she's like one of the most over people in Europe. Like, whenever I've seen her, I saw her at a house show in Sheffield, and like she's super over, and there's people doing that song, "Hey Bailey, ooh, ah, I wanna know, will you be my girl?" Yeah, and she's super over Bailey. Everyone loves her, and then she comes back to the States, and it's like you can hear I don't know, a mouse fart in a churchyard. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't get it, to be honest. But yeah, the match was fine. It was what it was. I'm trying to think what else happened. Kabuki's nearly split because of the abuse Oscar's giving Kyrie. Then Io Sky came along to try and help Kyrie out. And then she couldn't. And then she squared up to Raquel Rodriguez, and they set up a match next week without consulting Adam Pearce, which is again just like, guys, look, if you're going to do this, can we have a bit of realism about it? What else? Penta and Dom was pretty decent. Shout out to Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vakir for that backstage brawl that started off the match. That was really cool, actually, especially when Liv shoved Steph Vakir into the chairs. That was really cool, actually. Again, Boston. I don't know what was going on last night. I really don't. But the crowd started off really hot for Brock and Ober. But throughout the night, they just went down the register. They were like, yeah. And it was like a bloody, like I said, it was like a bloody, it was like a church at bloody prayer time towards the end. Yeah, Finn Balor came back, and I'm thinking to myself, well, it's Boston. You've got to think of the Irish community over there. They're going to love Finn. Yeah, it's just absolutely no reaction. Nothing. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, Finn ends up costing Dom Mysterio because he attacked JD McDonough at first. Dom goes to hit the frog splash, and then Penta rolls him up in a small package. Tries to Balor gets his hands on Dom, tries to attack him, yada yada yada. Does the coup de grace on JD McDonough, and now Finn is babyface. But again, that didn't get a pop either. I mean, it got a pop, but not like a massive pop. And then obviously there was the Roman Reigns CM Punk thing with the Usos, which I thought was really good drama. Really enjoyed the way they did it. I like what Jey Uso's doing in his work at the minute. Whether he's going to become a bad guy or not, I don't know. I thought Roman was tremendous last night. Beat the living crap out of CM Punk. So F you, Roman. Sorry guys, but I'm Team Punk. I want CM Punk to win. And basically that's when the crowd came alive again, when Roman came out, and like I have to say, to be honest, Roman seems to be getting, not with all the crowds, but he got a hell of a lot of better reception than Punk last night. I'm not saying people were pleased to see Punk. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there were loads of fans who like obviously really love seeing Punk, myself included. But like Roman was proper over last night. So I don't know what's going to happen. Excuse me. I don't know what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Sorry, not you guys. It's me. I don't know what's going to happen at WrestleMania, but I actually am starting to think that 70% of that arena in Vegas will be cheering Roman Reigns over Punk, which will make me very sad as a CM Punk fan. But there we go. And guys, in terms of AEW, I'll be completely honest because I've been chatting away to you guys and thoroughly enjoying it. And I can't get the damn thing to work on my TV. I haven't seen all of AEW, but just very quickly, um, if you are an AEW fan, Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland, shout out to them. Fantastic match. Although Kenny Omega has just beaten Swerve Strickland and is now the number one contender because he put up his EVP position for Swerve's shot at the title. So Swerve's now lost his shot at the title, which is again just weird. I mean, it's just weird. Why would you make that decision for? So yeah, AEW Dynasty. It's going to be. Excuse me again, guys. Sorry. It's nearly sleepy time, guys. I think. So it's going to be MJF versus Kenny Omega. Just trying to think what else did I manage to watch. Just seen Tekla. Like I said, guys, if you've not seen or heard of Tekla before, she is the AEW Women's World Champion, and in my humble opinion, she is the best wrestler in the world at the minute. I absolutely love that girl's work. She is a pleasure to watch, an absolute pleasure to watch. I pretty much adore everything that she does. And the best compliment I can pay her is she makes pro wrestling. That's all I can say. All I can just recommend is just to watch her move set, her cadence and the promos, her fire, finishes that she does, the spider walk stuff that she does, just how she can control a crowd, just everything. She's just a superb professional wrestler in my opinion. Um, John Moxley's team beat Christopher Daniels' team. I wasn't quite sure what was going on with that, to be honest. And I've just watched the Rush versus Darby Allin match. Pretty decent. I love the way that Rush was doing the no cells on the chops. That was quite amusing, actually. But then all of a sudden, at the end, Big Mark Davis has just come along and tombstone Darby Allin onto the concrete. So I'm not really. And Andrade was telling Don Callis off for having him do it. So I don't know if I've missed something, but clearly I've obviously missed something. I'm really sorry about that shit AW review. That's literally all I've seen, unfortunately. I've currently got Omega and MJF on my screen. I'm going to watch the promo after this. So if there's any more AEW stuff, I will. Excuse me again, guys. Oh my god. I will probably make some sort of comments on it and stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, that is my very brief thing of watching AEW. Why is there a picture of Mercedes Moné and Ronda Rousey for AEW Reboot presents All In? And there's a picture of Danhausen on this AEW. But we'll have a job. He works for WWE now. What the hell's that about? Anyway. Yeah, so I'm trying to think, was there anything else on AEW that I've seen? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I saw the promo that Will Ospreay cut on Mox, where he actually dropped the MF. Shout out to Will for that. That was very cool. So it looks like that's going to happen at Dynasty as well. I will be covering that as well, guys. I think, and again, fingers crossed, it depends on Mrs. Meta, but I think they're away that day. So I might actually be able to watch it live because I've actually, as I'm getting better at this now, I'm actually thinking of doing some live watch-alongs either for football or for wrestling. The trouble that I always have is I can't really do them. Like, if there's like a welcome match and it's on the middle of the day, or there's like a Liverpool match, I would love to do watch along for Liverpool matches, but you would literally see my kid coming in every 3 seconds and like climbing on my head and farting on it and just doing ridiculous things, and then Mrs. would come and stand in front of the TV and like just get in the way, and it would just be absolutely bad. This is why I always end up doing these things late at night, you see. So there we go. but that is my life. That is my life. But yeah, shout out to Will Ospreay. That was a really good promo. So looking forward to him versus Mox. So we've got trying to think, MJF versus Kenny Omega at Dynasty, or Dynasty, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Omega versus MJF. Who else have we got? I've literally just said one, haven't I? And I've just completely forgot who it is. This is why I need to go to sleep, guys, because the brain has just turned itself off. I'll have a look at the card at some point, but I think I want to say it's April the 12th. And next month's going to be awesome if you're a pro wrestling fan, because like AEW Dynasty is on the 12th, and then on the 18th and 9th, well, 17th, 18th, and 19th are WWE Hall of Fame, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2. So that whole week will be wrestling, basically. Probably a bit of Liverpool as well, because unfortunately Liverpool will be back. Yay! Great. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that at the minute. Dear God. But yeah, that week on the channel will definitely be wrestling week, guys. Any hoodle doodle, let me go back. NES I fancy. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Wales got knocked out, not going to the World Cup. What's wrong with Wales? You said that, sorry. You're not my dad. Message about. Wait, what? Okay. Okay, as long as you two are alright with each other. Sorry, that's really thrown me off. Sorry, guys, I didn't know that was going on while I was doing that little thing. Yeah, just very quickly, guys, because I'm going to head off because I don't know if you can you can tell with my eyes, because I have like sleep apnea, unfortunately. I can feel these going, so I'm going to be wrapping this up shortly. So first of all, really sorry for the wrestling fans that I've had to group together Raw and AEW. Unfortunately, I just ran out of time to do both. Hopefully, our normal service will be. Is that Amy Winehouse on my shirt? Lewis Juster. It is not Lewis. It is Rhea Ripley of WWE fame, otherwise known as my beautiful wife, who I love very much. No, that isn't my actual wife, sadly. Actually, I hope my real wife, who's upstairs, did not hear that comment I just made. the phrase the phrase the romancing for the weekend got off to a very poor start comes to mind. No, it's Rhea Ripley though, to answer your question, Lewis. Just quickly, folks, I just wanted to say what I'm doing this weekend. So obviously I've repeated this like a million times, and I'm sure, yeah, shout out to yeah, will have heard me go on about this dozens of times now, but I will be going to, yeah, she is. I will be going to Manchester tomorrow because I'm going to see Liverpool Legends against Borussia Dortmund Legends on Saturday. So just very quickly, plan is, like I said earlier at the start of this, I am going to the workplace, unfortunately, hopefully for not too much longer. I may have some news about that shortly. Mrs. Better is far more fabulous. Best weekend ever, Dortmund. Sorry to hear about the passing of your real wife. No, Lewis, no. She's very, very much still alive. I meant sorry, I've just realised what that looked like. Then I meant as in she's upstairs sleeping. Do you know what? I've done that quite a few times on live streams. I hope people haven't been thinking that I'm suggesting that she's like gone to the angels. I've literally only just thought that. Yeah, no, it's fine, Lewis. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all. Yeah, I've just realised that's a bit. Yeah, I should stop doing that. Basically, she's in bed sleeping. Basically. There we go. This is better. Fabulous and alive. Yes, there we go. Yeah, so just the Scottish and the English. Christian Strachan in the world. Oh, in the World Cup. Hey, Chris Jack, how you doing? You're all right. Yes, we were speaking the other day about yeah. Well, let's hope England and Scotland play each other. Like I said, Chris, I know I am English, but I'm going to be a turncoat. So there's going to be lots of Scottish people supporting these guys. Don't know if you can see that. That's the mighty Ghana. Um, I will have to turn my back on my country because basically, look, I've told this like a million times, but my old fellow was from Ghana, and it's my only link that I've got with him. He'd like died 28 years ago. Blah 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 blah. I've told this story before. Anyway, it's like watching Ghana is my because I don't really have family over there or anything. It's my only link that I've got really left to him. So I've explained this to all the boys here, and they're all right with it. But I am just like lads. Look, when it's England versus Ghana, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to support Ghana. Simple as that. And all lads are all right with everything. But the only trouble is if I now can't watch it out with the boys because they'll be all right with it because they'll just say, "Oh, off this, that, and the other," and we'll just shake hands at the end and go out for beers and whatever. But obviously, if it's boozer and there's like 300 or 400 England fans in there, I mean, my mates will be out of it. Like the rest of the patrons of the bar in Headingley may not necessarily be hugely impressed if I start running around the beer garden with a bloody um, Ghana flag waving in my hand. You know what I mean? But yeah, yeah. Other than that, I hope England do okay. Again, obviously, supporting England at the moment is that phrase that I say all the time. How does one put this? Um, it's difficult following England at the moment, bearing in mind the team is currently being used for political discussion, shall we say. But there we go. Let's have a look. You know the Scottish are going to beat the English. Oh well, Chris. To be honest, if Andy Robbo came along and like booted one in from 35 yards out, I would proper pop for that. That would be freaking awesome. No, like I said, Chris, I used to be. I'll be honest. I used to be a big England fan, which is a bit weird as a Liverpool fan because I wasn't into the whole. I wasn't into the culture as much as Liverpool as the city, if you see what I mean, at the time because I was only young. But as I've become obviously more ingrained with Liverpool, obviously I know about the culture and everything, and you know what happened with the Hillsborough and how the Liverpool supporters feel very let down by the state and consider themselves Scots, not English, and all that, which is their God given right as far as I'm concerned. Um, and now I think because I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm not going to say I'm a scout because obviously I'm clearly not a scouser. It goes without saying, but I do feel a lot of empathy with the people of Liverpool now. I know a lot more about the way they were treated in the late 80s by the Conservative government, and especially after what happened with Hillsborough. And just because a lot of the and I know this is all England fans. There's lots of really lovely people in this country. So this isn't a blanket comment whatsoever. There's lots of truly lovely England fans of all nationalities, races, creeds, colours, sexuality, whatever. But because the because the flag is being used for other purposes at the moment, shall we say, it's difficult to get behind from that perspective. Also, can I just say as well, I don't know if about anyone else, I am sick and tired of the football hooligans. I cannot believe this is still going on now. It's like, well, Chris, you'll know yourself, like, basically, what am I trying to say? The Scots go to the World Cup. Yes, no, Chris, you'll know better than me. So I'm sure there are a couple of naughty Scotsmen and women who have caused the odd ruckus at a bar here and there, but you barely hear anything of anything with any Scottish fans when they go abroad. The Welsh, no problem. The Irish, no problem. Life and soul of the party. Um, I mean, obviously, there's other nationalities that do kick off sometimes. I mean, I don't know that some Dutch supporters occasionally. I mean, they've got the orange wall, but they've got hooligan firms as well. I mean, most countries have got hooligan firms. You know what I mean? But like generally, everyone else is so well behaved, and every single time England get eliminated, you just know to lock up your bloody doors because you're going to have some complete bellend coming along and just like causing chaos and setting cars on fire. I mean, that thing that happened. I'm sorry, I know this is a long time ago. That thing that happened at Wembley, um, after England lost that final, was an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace. Um, I couldn't care less about the security and saying, "Oh, it's the security's fault. They shouldn't have let us in." It's like, no, you complete dick. You've nearly caused a bloody stadium riot, and like the I still cannot believe. Obviously, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, guys, because I've just waffled on basically. This is when England got to the Euro 2000 final, but well, it was the 2021 basically because of the COVID thing, um, and it was felt appropriate for Wembley Way to be opened up at I think it was 8 o'clock in the morning, and the final was on at 8 o'clock at night. Guess what happened? Glug 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 glug. I mean, look, if it was a country that is responsible, like Sweden or yes, Germany, for example, like actual responsible countries who will put precautions in place to stop people from getting arseholed the entire day. Like, guys, I'm English. When they announced that Wembley Way was going to be open for everyone from 8 in the morning, I could have told you what was going to happen. What an obscenely, appallingly stupid idea. So everyone turns up and everyone's half cut in the bloody stadium. You've got things being lobbed at the Italian fans. You've got English fans going in the Italian end. There's people storming into the stadium and this, that, and the other, knocking stewards out and blah, 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 blah. And it was, I mean, what a shambles. What an absolute shambles. And I tell you what, as an loosely an English man, I mean, how embarrassing. I mean, broadcast across the world, and people wonder now, it's like, oh, why can't we have the World Cup here and this, that, and the other? And don't get me wrong, I think we should have the World Cup here, like, because the facilities we've got as a country. But I mean, if you saw that, if you lived in abroad, would you want to come over here and see a World Cup? Because I sure as hell wouldn't. It was just bloody embarrassing. And it's just like, I've always had a problem with like football. Look, I know it goes on at football matches. Obviously, it goes without saying. But like, I am sick and tired, and just hearing about England fans kicking off. It's just like, just watch the damn football, then go home or go to the pub, have a few drinks with your mates, bit of a laugh, cool. Don't spoil it for everyone else and behave like a dickhead, basically. Anyway, that's my rant over, guys. Sorry, I was telling you about Liverpool. Let's have a look. You know the Scottish are going to beat the English. Yes, well, that's fine with me, Chris. Deutschland over England every time. I don't know about that. Yeah, the English, the tiny bit of English I've got in me is kicked in little bit. I would have to support England on that one, I'm afraid. Unless Klopp was managing Germany, in which case, no comment. Uh, Mate, I will come down with you and wave the Scottish flag. Oh, you're more than welcome to, mate. You're more than welcome to. McTominay, yeah, absolutely. Politics has zero place in football. Well, yeah, I'd agree with that, but it keeps sneaking in, doesn't it? Because it is used as a, pardon the expression, of political football. Unfortunately, they do. The people say it shouldn't, but they do mix. I mean, I can remember the thing with Marcus Rashford, which was one of the most incredible pieces of farce I've ever seen. A bloke, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Marcus Rashford as a Liverpool fan by any stretch of the imagination, but a bloke setting up an initiative for children to get free school dinners, being told that he should stick to football and he's being a do-gooder, and being criticised by the Conservatives and the Tories, no less, for doing it. And it's like, well, why the can't you feeding these children then? And eventually he got it overturned, and it's just like, oh, these do-gooders sticking to football. It's like, right, so you want children to starve to death? because they haven't got enough food. You absolute weapon. I think I really haven't revealed my political my political leanings tonight, folks, haven't I? But yeah, no, it's just stupid. Yeah, it really is just stupid. Do I remember Christian? But do I ever, Lewis? In fact, I can tell you exactly. I tell you exactly right. We were about 3 months from moving in South Leeds. That was it, yeah. Me and Mrs. Meta had just come back from a wedding in, if you're not from England, a lovely little place called Doncaster. Yeah. Anyway, so we'd been to this fancy state hall with one of the boys from Harrogate. He just got married to his missus. We came back the next day, and my mom-in-law was sat over here looking after our kid, basically. And our kid was like, I don't know, I can't remember how old it was, about 5 or 6 months old, give or take. And we were playing Crystal Palace that night, so Mrs. went to bed early because she was knackered. She used to look after our son while I went to work, basically. And so she goes to sleep, and I was like, "Oh, brilliant! I could sneakily put the TV on for the Liverpool game because our son just never went to sleep. So basically, we had to walk around like monks so that we didn't wake him up. So I'm literally sat there listening to it, and it's on like, like the volume control you've got. It's on volume 2, and I've got like one of those little things like that, like bloody glass, trying to listen to what the bloody fella's saying on the radio. And I heard that we're 3-0 up, and that we're peppering Crystal Palace. And it's like, oh, Liverpool are going for the 5th and the 6th and the 7th to try and cut Man City's goal difference. And I can remember saying at the time, Lewis, I can remember saying at the time, look, never mind the goal difference, shut up shop and just take the win before something bad happens. And that was literally when we got the third goal. 25 minutes later, it still remains to this day one of the stupidest things that the Liverpool Football Club have ever done. And we quite rightly got punished for it. Simple as that. That should have been another lead title, but Brendan decided to try and out-tactic Jose Mourinho, and that did sadly not work very well, unfortunately. Terrible how the police and the Maggie dealt with Scouse. Yeah, no, well, Chris, to be honest, mate, I didn't. Yeah, and Hillsborough as well, thank you. Yeah. To be honest, Chris, because like I said, my introduction to being a Liverpool fan was very, very different. So I've told this story a million times. I was telling someone the other day. I asked my old fella who John Barnes played for during the 1990 World Cup, and he said Liverpool. And it was basically I was like, oh, I'll support Liverpool then. My dad was like, yeah, yeah, whatever, son. Of course you will do. Cut 36 years later, I'm still a Liverpool fan 4 decades later. But obviously, as a kid, and I was following Liverpool from. We used to live in Derby. I mean, it's nowhere near Liverpool. Well, I mean, it's not a million miles away, but it's not exactly round the corner, like. And not to be rude to any Derby County fans, I didn't like living in Derby at the best of times, and I certainly was not going to be following Derby County anytime soon. But obviously, growing up, you're not in the cult like you will be. Obviously, who you follow, you'll be in the culture of the city and this, that, and the other. Obviously, I had never really been with Liverpool, but then my old fella passed away, and I went on my own to go see Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, and like um, I actually went on the anniversary of Hillsborough. Funnily enough, well, not funnily enough, because there's nothing funny about it, but that was the first time I'd been since my dad had died, and like, obviously you see all the people hugging each other, and I was just so moved. And then from there, obviously, I built up my knowledge about Liverpool. Funnily enough, I'm going again this week, and I go to Liverpool at least 5 or 6 times a year now. Not even if Liverpool are playing, just because it's an, as the Scousers would say, a boss city. It really is just. Everyone's going to say it about the hometown, but like. I think it's one of the nicest places in England. And like I always feel look, there's dangerous areas in Liverpool. Like, I mean, I live in Leeds. There's dangerous areas in Leeds. Chris, I'm sure there's dangerous areas where you are, and yeah, there'll be dangerous areas where you live and wherever anyone lives. But like, some of the places in Liverpool are so beautiful. Honestly, I mean, the docks. I could just have a day on the docks in Liverpool. I would happily just nice sunny day, walk along the docks, have a sit down, cup of tea in the hand, and I would happily walk for 2 or 3 hours down there because it's just so nice. It really, really is. And then obviously I learned more about what happened with the managed decline under Maggie and all this stuff that Liverpool were put through and like a deliberate recession. And you just like, I mean, how on earth can that be allowed to happen? It's like you wonder about the thought process. I mean, obviously I was only a kid in the 1980s, but you just like the people making these decisions. I mean, like what planet were you on? You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I've got a lot of empathy with the people. But like I said, I'm never going to be a Scouser, and I defer to the Scousers. But like as a people, I absolutely love them. I think they are literally boss, and I'm always treated really well up there. People, I don't think I've ever had a problem with Liverpool, really, to be honest. But yeah, they're just nice people, and it's yeah, I just love the place. I think it's great. Let's have a look. And fought the entire 90s, and yes, absolutely, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Terrible day, Hillsborough, though. Yeah. Yay! In fact, I will do the F word. Chris says, "Fuck the sun." I also say, "Double fuck the sun." That is the one time I will swear, Chris, on this channel. Like I said, I will not have. So it's not a thing to my missus, by the way. It's just another very, very quick story. So, you know, in fact, I'm not even going to say the word. That rag used to have those coupon things that you could cut out and you put them all together and you could not win a free holiday, but you can get money towards a holiday or whatever the thing was. Because my missus didn't know about the sun thing, as in genuinely she had no idea because obviously she didn't follow football. She knew about Hillsborough, but didn't know about the whole sun thing. She genuinely had no idea, and she bought this thing into our house and said, "Oh, look, love, I've got this newspaper and it's got these things." And I literally said straight away, "Get out!" And she was like, and I actually physically moved her outside. She was like, "What?" There's like, "What are you doing, Leo?" I was like, "You can keep the vouchers in the house, that's fine. Here's your scissors." She was like, "Why am I doing it outside for?" It's like, "I'm not having that fucking thing in my house, thank you very much." She said, "What, the newspaper?" Then I explained to her what happened. She was like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry," this, that, and the other. And then she went to throw it in our bin, and basically where we are, there's a bin over the road. And I went, not on the property, over there. And she was just like, "You're going to send me halfway across the street from the owner?" "Yes, I am, love. And I'm not touching it, so it's either you do it or I throw it in the street." And she was like, "Oh, so basically, that's how much I hate the sun, Chris. I won't have it anywhere near my house. I mean, I shouldn't really be saying this, to be honest, but over the years there's been a few people at the place that I work who have brought that particular newspaper, and I've just come along and there's been no effort about it, basically tore it in half and chucked it in the bin. Did need to get caught once, actually. That was a very long day, actually. But yeah, no, I can't stand them. Cannot stand a bunch of idiots. Yes, but the English are terrible, mate. Yeah, well, this is the thing, Chris. This is why. Look, I'm not going to say, Chris, like that I identify as a Ghanaian, because look, you can hear from my language, I sound like bloody Jasper Carrot half the time. You know what I mean? With my Brummy accent that comes out. So I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, I feel totally Ghanaian," because that's obviously not the case. It's just my father was born in Ghana, basically. Sorry, lived in Ghana and then came over here and obviously married his wife and everything. And like I said, the Ghana thing, a lot of it is the only thing that I've got left to me, old fella. But genuinely, just because our national flag is being used for things that I don't think it should be used for, and I don't think the people that fought and died so that we have the freedoms in this country in the two world wars, I don't really think they would be hugely impressed with what this flag is currently being used for, and that's another one of them reasons. Like, I don't, and again, for true England fans who are nice people, it's not. I'm not saying that I want England to lose by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm just saying from my point of view, because of what is happening at the minute, you're trying to see the best in people, but it's very difficult when you see that flag being used for other means and purposes, which it wasn't intended for. I hope that makes sense. Like I said, I don't hate the country by any stretch of the imagination, but at the same time, I don't know really what country I'm actually in at the minute, quite frankly. You've got to thinking, why has England not won it since 1966? Great English player, but can't get along due to the club they play for. Well, yeah, no, absolutely, mate, absolutely. Um, Filmed in space, nice Amy Winehouse show. Why does everyone think this is Amy Winehouse? In fact, let me sit up. Here we go. Right, guys, it's definitely not Amy Winehouse. As but I used to like Amy as well, by the way. Uh, wasn't a fan of her dickhead of a husband, I have to say. It's Rhea Ripley of WWE fame. There you go. It's probably because my big fat stomach's like folded in to make it look like Amy Winehouse. Shout out to Amy Winehouse, by the way. In fact, swig of water for Amy. What a talented singer that woman was. Like I said, she's another one. I think Amy would be fine had she not had the company, sadly, that very much let that poor girl down for their own means and purposes. Let's have a look. Nice was not sure that holds water crisp. Madrid, Barca, Spain, 2008, 2012. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's a good point, Liam. It's a good point. Yeah, especially with Madrid and Barca. I think Chris was more meaning about us though, Liam. To be honest, as in England. I mean, obviously with that absolutely ridiculous problem in the noughties when you had all, because obviously Neville's talked about this on his podcast, and obviously Kara's confirmed it, and like who else is on Stick to Football? I think Ricey was on about it as well. Obviously he was a bit before, but that they all used to sit in their separate team. I mean, I suppose you would gravitate towards your team, obviously, but it's like, well, and Rio, I think Rio said that there were cliques in the whole thing. It's like, well, you're not there to have cliques, mate. You're there to represent your country, crack on and get on with it. And they just couldn't do it. And I mean, that England side, that golden generation we had, I mean, to not win a single thing. I mean, the 2000, I would say between 2004 and maybe going up to 2008 for that England side not to win anything is an absolute farce of elephantine proportions, in my opinion. It really, really is. There we go. Do we go to Anfield much? Not all the time. A cracking night at Selhurst, though, in my opinion, anyway. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Lewis. I certainly didn't. It was bloody awful. Do you get to Anfield much? I try and go as much as I can, Lewis, to be honest. I mean, the only way, and look, I am in a not a privileged position. It's not like I'm rich. I'm definitely not rich, I can tell you that now, but I can usually afford once a year to go on hospitality because it's so difficult getting a ticket. I usually use this app called Seat Loader, and these are ludicrous prices, don't get me wrong, but like sometimes I can get a ticket for about 100 quid. And yes, that's as in 100. Managed to get one for, I think it was 90 quid or 85 quid this year to go to the Barnsley match, which again is at least 2 times as much you would pay. Although actually, to be fair to the club, the Barnsley one was good because you got a cup of coffee, a pint at half time, a pint when you got to the ground, and a programme. So I suppose 90 quid. I mean, let's say if the Barnsley ticket was 30 quid. Normally, I mean, your programme's what, 5, 6, 7 quid, 37, a couple of pints wherever you go nowadays is going to cost you at least 7 or 8 quid. So you're talking, that's what, 60, and they put food on as well, so you're talking you can make a justification for 75 quid, so, but it's still like it still is taking the piss, obviously, because they're still putting an extra 20 quid on top of it. So yeah, to answer your question, Lewis, I go to probably about 3 times a year. Go to see the Legends match just because, well, frankly, it's cheap and it's a good day out, basically. Um, I usually try and get to one of the friendlies because, again, that's one of the only chances you can get to actually get a ticket. And it's not an absolute, um, it's not absolute bedlam. Basically, I actually went to go and see the Atletico Bilbao double header, but the only reason I actually went there was because I felt as if I needed to go and say goodbye to Diogo because I'd not been to Anfield since his death at that point. And I felt as if I really need to I really need to say goodbye to Diogo Jota because it obviously, it honestly, seriously, it broke my heart. That did absolutely broke my heart. I absolutely loved that fella. And yes, but there was two matches on that day because we played Bilbao's youth team, I think it was, and then we played the proper senior team of the night. And it was two matches for, it was like 25 quid I paid or something like that. I mean, bearing in mind I was in the ground for, you talking, I was in the ground for about 6, 7 hours, however long it had been. So that was worth it, obviously. So yeah, I've seen that, saw the Barnsley match, and now I'm seeing the Legends match. So long story short, mate, probably the best I'm ever going to do at the moment is maybe 2 league matches and a cup match. Definitely the Legends match and maybe a pre-season. So you 5 times a year, maybe if I'm lucky. I'm hoping to start seeing it a lot more, but we'll have to wait and see. And like I say, it's just very expensive. And obviously, I live in Leeds as well, so you've got to put travel into account and all that. But yeah, I try and go as much as I can anyway. Celtic and Liverpool are connected. They certainly are, mate. They certainly are. Great player and tune by Barnsley. Yes. But Barnsley. Yeah. Is in yes. Yeah. World in motion and all that. Celtic and Liverpool are connected. Yeah, they always have been, especially with your Never Walk alone. They've had some cracking matches for Celtic over the years as well. That 2-2 at Parkhead, I mean, that was one of the. I didn't enjoy the game at the time because it was bloody awful in the second half, but I remember it was. Oh, God, this is pushing it now. Was it Paul Donnelly that got the. That's did Paul Donnelly put Celtic ahead 2-1 from the penalty spot? I can't remember who got the first one. Was it Alan Thompson? No, Alan Thompson scored in the game at Anfield, didn't he? So not the 1997 one, the 2000, was it 2003? 2002, something along the lines. I think that was when John Hartson scored as well. And then there was the 0-0 at Anfield, which, I mean, to be honest, Celtic should have actually beat us that night. So when they won a few years later, then fair enough. But the one at Parkhead was when Steve McManaman did that amazing run. So he got the ball off one of our defenders and basically went through everything. All the Celtic defenders just slalomed it. Yeah, it was that 2-2. What an absolutely fantastic match! Brilliant game of football. Unfortunately, the second time we played Celtic at Parkhead was rather ruined, and I'm sure Chris will remember this, by a certain Senegalese forward who I can barely even say it because I find the motion disgusting, but disgraced the football club by spitting at the Celtic crowd. Which, I mean, I can't imagine spitting at another human being as it is, but I mean, spitting on random people in the crowd is just, I mean, it's just, I don't even have the words, quite frankly. Barnes' goal against Brazil, yes, absolutely, Liam, absolutely. My favourite Barnsley goal. I like Liam, and this is going to be, the people might not remember this because I'm seriously old, man, I'm like 46. John Barnes, if you ever want to see a great goal from John Barnes, I would type in John Barnes, Liverpool versus Aston Villa, 1990, I think. Basically, Barnes gets the ball and it's one of those pitch. But in fact, if you the only thing I can compare it to is Jordan Henderson's against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. That one where he takes a touch and literally bends it into the top right hand corner. It was one of those, but it was actually a bit nearer than Hendo's, but just the touch and technique in the fact it was like a postage stamp goal, literally just about shaves Anglo post and bar. It was just genius. There was the slalom run against Queens Park Rangers, where he went through the whole team practically. The overhead kick against Blackburn Rovers. I mean, yeah, I can't speak highly enough of John Barnes. Um, he's my favourite football player of all time. He's the one that got me into footy in the first place. But yeah, what an absolute brilliant footballer. John Hartson goal against Liverpool. Yes, like I was saying, Chris. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That was it was about 30 yards out, wasn't it, or something like that. I think he gave it about. I'm sure it was Alan Thompson that got the first one as well. I can't remember, to be honest. It was that bloody long ago. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, very much appreciated. I love that Hearts and goal. I remember watching the game on BBC Two. Yes, I remember watching it on BBC Two as well, Liam. I suspect I enjoyed it less than you would have done. Don't get me into a tangent about skulls. Never should have been played. Oh no, yeah, Liam, you've done it now, mate. You've done it now. I could never understand that, mate, at all. I could why Paul Scholes was put on the left. I will never ever know when there was just the solution was so blindingly obvious. It was unreal, and it's just like, oh, we didn't know at the time. It's like, well, you play him as a free. And it's like, what do you mean you play him as a free? You play Scholes, Gerrard, and Lampard in the middle as a free. You have Scholes bombing on forward like he did for United, and then I mean, look, obviously you don't make Scholes defensive because that. I mean, don't he could do the defensive and dirty stuff as well, Scholes, but like that wasn't his game as much as attacking was. And then you just alternate Lampard and Gerrard as necessary. So you can have Gerrard as your DM, and then you could have Lamps bombing forward with Scholesy, or you have Lampard as your central defensive. I mean, I'd probably go with Gerrard as CDM because I always thought he was defensively better than Lampard. But you have Gerrard holding, you have Scholes and Lampard bombing forward, and you play a 3-5-2 to accommodate it. And if it meant putting David Beckham out on the wing and he had to do a bit of wing back work, then so be it. Job done. There you go. And I agree with you, mate. I'm really annoyed actually, like, that you've put that into my brain now. To be honest, I would never understand the fucking stupidity of that. It is just, yeah. I completely agree with you, mate. It was just an absolutely ludicrous decision to play Paul Scholes as a bloody winger when it's just clearly not his position. Utter and complete nonsense. The bad guy has returned. Hey, Johnny. There you go. Who the F is that? Jeremy Stevens? The man has a school bag and can't even read. I don't know, Johnny, to be honest. Who is Jeremy Stevens? I know Jeremy Frimpong is. Volkanov, do you come from London? What a guy. Hi, guys. Charles Oliver here. Happy birthday, brother. Anderson Silver, I'm calling you out. You and the bad guy. You'll do nothing. Thank you, Johnny, for that. That was very poetic. Right, folks, what I was saying about 20 minutes ago when I was doing wrap up, guys, it's like 20 to 1 in the morning, so I'm going to head off in a minute. What I was going to say was, like I said, so I'll be in Manchester tomorrow. There will be no footage from tomorrow. It will be basically me and my brother drinking. In fact, I might, if anyone's interested, I will happily put some of me on the ale. Which is a very bad idea, but I might even go and do some dancing, actually, to be fair. Customer note, you look from Lebanon, bro. No, not unless Lebanon has suddenly moved to South Leeds, mate, in Beeston. No, nowhere near, dude. Like I said, I live in Leeds, in West Yorkshire, which I don't think Lebanon has a connection with, to the best of my knowledge. But still, thank you for the observation. Yeah, like I said, I'll be in Manchester tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Toy Short Friday. I think I've just about got some Toy Shorts to show you, but I need to go and get some more because I'm severely running out now. Saturday, right? Obviously, the game is on Saturday. Me and my brother are travelling up. Uh, Probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to get to what am I trying to say? We're going to get to Liverpool about, I don't know, midday. Grab something to eat. Go to a couple of boozers beforehand. I'm aiming to get to the ground at 1:30. I'm going to send my brother off to the merch stand, and then I'm going to go and do a live with you guys. So I'm going to start from probably the Bobby Firmino mural, and then I'll just take you through all the murals in and around the houses, like I've done before. Take you around the grounds and then say goodbye, basically. So I'll be on for about 20 odd minutes. And then, yeah, there'll be a match day vlog, obviously, as there always is. You guys know what I do, basically. And then there'll be toy shorts. Shorts of the goals during the match, if I can get it to do it during the match. I mean, it's a Legends match, so it'll be nice and chilled. So hopefully, yeah, we'll go from there. Ah, Max Rittin, I know who that is, has just popped up on my Instagram there. 30 seconds of madness. Oh, okay. Thank you, Johnny slash Max. I will look forward to that. As soon as I get up here, I'll have a look, pal, in a second. Yeah, so there'll be a match day vlog and there'll be a travel vlog at some point. Yada yada yada. I will try and get a Substack out, but it might be a very drunken Substack because as soon as the match is finished, we're going to a couple of bars at Anfield, so we might go Total Anfield or the Arkles just for a couple of pints. Then we're going back into town to Liverpool to go and drink around the bars in Liverpool, and then we're going to get back to Manchester, which is going to be a bit interesting because our hotel is in Manchester. Guess what we'll be wearing on Saturday night in Manchester? Me and my brother clocked this the other day and went, oh, that could be not particularly wonderful. So, yeah, hopefully we don't end up getting the living shit kicked out of us on the way in Manchester. By the way, if you're viewing in Manchester, please don't tell anyone that that's what we're doing. And then we're going to go back to the hotel room, get change, and then go back out drinking in Manchester. So it's going to be basically, it's going to be a fun weekend, but it's going to be a messy weekend, guys. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be proper course. Just keep an eye on the channel. There'll be loads of content and this, that, and the other. Just very quickly, what am I doing the next week? That's a very good question. What am I doing the next week? Monday Night Raw wrap-up show will be on Tuesday. I will be doing a Liverpool wrap-up at some point, just to beat the international blues, basically. So yeah, stick with me for that one. There'll be some sort of Liverpool thing at some point in the next week. AEW Dynamite should be fine for next Thursday, and then Friday Night SmackDown live stream I'll be able to do a week on Saturday, I believe. Obviously, I won't be able to do that on this Saturday because I will be free sheets to the wind. If you don't know what the phrase free sheets to the wind means, just type it into the internet and it will tell you. But yes. Speaking of which, I'm going to have one of those before I go to bed as well, actually. And then the week afterwards, I've got 2 weeks off from work. Yay! And I'm also going out for WrestleMania as well. So there's going to be tons of stuff happening in the next couple of weeks. But it is my intention to be on with you guys quite a bit for live streams because I am aiming to do this by the end of the year. If you smell the rock is cooking, that is the plan. Anyway, that was an epic live stream, folks. Bloody go. 133 minutes. I said to my pal Finn that I was only going to be on for about 25 minutes, so that's news to me, that one. Yes, guys, right. Let me just answer these last few comments, and then I'm going to get off because, like I said, it's like 1:45 in the morning, which is there we go. Johnny is making famous quotes from UFC fighters. Ah, right. I understand now. All famous UFC quotes. You look like from Lebanon. Technically, the bag quote was a boxing match. Okay, I'll take your guys' word for it. Customer again. I am Arab, so I thought your origins are from there. No, 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 no. Yeah, thanks for saying customer note, customer notes. Um, no, I'm like well, British and half Ghanaian, basically. Watch it, mate. I will do, Johnny. I will do. It might have to be tomorrow morning, though, pal. Because I do, if you can see my eyes, I can see him going now, mate. But yes, I will definitely watch and comment. Are you a musician? Thank you for the question, customer note. I can assure you, I would be the worst musician in the world. I'm tone deaf. I cannot sing. I cannot play anything. Um, I'm pretty useless as a human being, to be honest. I can't actually drive. Um, I'm no good at maths. I've got a huge belly. Um, the only thing I can really do is like do random crap like this where I can tell people stuff about Liverpool and pro wrestling and like random World Cup matches from 35 years ago, which didn't used to be a skill, but now apparently it is. So yeah, other than that, I'm pretty rubbish, mate. But yeah, no, I'm definitely not a musician. Definitely not a musician, mate. Thank you for the question. Right, guys, this has been awesome. Thank you very much. I needed this today. John, it was lovely to speak to you again, mate. Customer note, always welcome. Liam, it's been a pleasure, my friend. And everyone else that was on tonight, yeah, obviously you're a star. Chris, it was lovely to speak to you again as well. Shout out to you and shout out to Lewis as well. And can I just say before I go, thank you everyone who watched my thanks for keeping me company, guys. Not a problem, Liam. Pleasure to speak to you, mate. Absolute pleasure. And can I just say, folks, thank you for everyone that watched. Just to end on a bit of a soppy note, the stand up to racism thing the other day. I didn't put it on there to be controversial. I put it on there because there are good people in this world, and there are sometimes you've got to fight for the thing that you believe in, and that's why I put it on, basically. I don't want to be like a political person, I really, really don't, but there's a lot of foul, rubbish shit that's going on in this world at the minute, and we're going to have to fight for it a little bit, and if it involves doing that sort of thing, so be it. But yes, thank you for everyone that watched that, basically. And yeah, to the wrestling crowd, I hope my 20 minutes of wrestling analysis was entertaining for you. Yes, I'll be doing a lot more on the wrestling stuff. It'll be better next week because I'll be back on. I'll be able to watch Raw on Tuesdays and stuff, and it won't be on the Thursday. So yeah, but there we go. Right then, guys, I'm gonna have a quick drink of something, and then I'm going to bed. So I will see you all. I'll see you all at Anfield in 36 hours. That's going to be very cool. Excellent. Right then, guys, have a fantastic weekend if you don't manage to catch it. Keep an eye out on the channel. There'll be loads of Liverpool stuff, and I'll see you all on the field of Anfield Road in 36 hours. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.